Welcome back. With me for tonight's Lone Level Rumble are David Almasi and Kevin Martin, and let's get back to it. If you want a Chipotle burrito, you better not bring your gun. Mexican fast food chain announced in a statement issued Monday that it wants customers to stop bringing guns into its restaurants. Chipotle said that the display of firearms in our restaurants has now created an environment that is potentially intimidating or uncomfortable for many of our customers. The move comes just a few days after gun rights activists brought military-style assault rifles into one Texas Chipotle, terrorizing and upsetting the customers there. Isn't that, I mean, I find this whole open carry thing bizarre. I'm totally down with concealed carry. I got no problem with that. I'm by and large, fine with guns. I mean, my brother and I are competitive shooters, and I'm all, I got no problem with hunters having guns and people having guns for self-protection. But walking around with a gun on your hip, it just seems to me like the only people who would do that are members of the Small Penis Gun Club.
They have every right to do that in states where it's legal, and Chipotle has every right to say we don't want to serve you in our restaurants. What they need to do is remember when they do this, that Chipotle is turning themselves into the Starbucks of the fast food, or well, Starbucks of the fast Mexican, fast casual. They're the ones that are anti-factory farming. They're the ones that were willing to charge more for guacamole because they said it was climate change. I believe they caved into the breastfeeding. As far as bringing things into restaurants, I don't know. There's another thing to worry about, but there are several restaurants you can go to, get fast casual Mexican. There's Moe's, there's California Tortilla, all these things.
Where you might encounter somebody with an AK-47?
Exactly, and if that's where you want to go, you can go there.
If I walked into any fast food restaurant in America and there was some guy walking around with an AK-47 or an AR-15, I would be thinking Adam Lanza. Don't you think the average American would be thinking, is this going to be the next massacre?
So tell me, as a business owner, I get a gun permit, and you walk into my store. You're the customer, remember?
Right.
I'm the owner.
Right.
I have a right to wear a gun on my daggone hip if I want to.
If
I am an owner and I've been robbed 3 or 4 times, okay, like old man Strickland over here who owns Strickland Liquors right over across the D.C. line. He carries a strap.
I got no problem with that.
But you said you have a.
I think we need to reevaluate our open carry laws. I'm in favor of law enforcement officers.
You said people who open carry have small penises, but we also business owners. We have small penises too. No, and if some brute kicks in my door.
I'm not questioning your manhood.
What am I supposed to do? Dial 911 while he's beating the hell out of me and robbing me?
I got no problem with the owner of a store having a visible firearm. It's the customers that I'm worried about. If you're the owner of the store,
Kevin,
aren't you a little?
I thought you were a constitutional person.
Wouldn't you be a little nervous if somebody walked into your store with an AR-15?
As a gun owner, I feel safe. Because you want to know why? Because
you're going to pull your gun faster than him?
No. Because everybody in that store knows if some fool comes in there whacked out of his mind or some drug or
you want to eat next to these two guys?
I have no problem eating next to them. I mean, I did it for 7 years in the military with Marines. I did it for 7 years in the Navy.
Stick. What if it's a kid with a hockey stick? What if it's some guy coming back from karate with his wooden sword?
I have not seen a 3-day-long CNN whatever they call this massacre porn because somebody went nuts with a hockey stick.
Are those guys killing people? I mean, we don't know.
They're using the weapons that are used to kill people in places like Newtown.
They're not.
Well, that's the thing. If they're sitting in the restaurant with me, I'm going to be thinking, are these guys going to use these?
You said that
these guys go off their meds?
Tom, you said they have weapons that kill people? So if I go to Chipotle's and pick up a knife, they've killed people. People have killed people with knives. Yeah. People have killed people with forks, spoons. So shouldn't I be nervous in Chipotle if they hand me a knife or a spoon? Because I might be whacked out of my mind and decide to stab the person next to me?
Kevin, is there a second purpose for which you can use a knife or a spoon?
A second purpose is you can use a knife or spoon. Eat. There's many things.
Yeah, you can eat with it. Is there a second purpose that you can use a gun like this for?
Actually, you can use it as a tool. You can use.
Oh, really? Wait, you're going to pry open your garage door with it?
Actually, you take. Actually, you excuse me. No. You can take a gun apart and use the parts in it for other things.
Oh, come on.
These guys were clearly looking for attention.
You're going to take a $1,200 gun
about it, and we're looking at trying to overturn the concealed carry laws. because of these two crazy guys.
Tom, if
We're
my-
looking to
So you're
overturn-
agreeing with me that they're crazy.
Tom, if my life is in danger, I'm going to use
you
it
don't
as a
need to bring
prop.
that in, just like you don't need to bring a hockey stick or a lacrosse stick, but we're not going to be complaining about the lacrosse sticks and the hockey sticks.
But the kids
and
on their way home
kendo
from a
things.
lacrosse game are carrying a lacrosse stick. I mean, there's
That's
a reason,
weapon, in my opinion.
It's
It's
not,
just the same as that.
But there's a
If-
second purpose, and that's to knock a ball around.
And to knock a head around if you want to, if you go off your meds in Chipotle. These guys should have had them in a carrying case.
All right, I get it. I
But
understand.
they
yeah,
didn't.
well, they should have
And
left
that
it in
doesn't
the
mean
car.
that we have to overturn concealed carry laws all across the United States because of these two guys.
Okay. Reverend Mitch Hescox, the head of the Evangelical Environmental Network, is collecting signature petitions calling on Governor Rick Scott, Florida Governor Rick Scott, as a Christian, to take action on climate change before it's too late. Speaking to Think Progress about the petition, Hescox said, "We're hoping that with Scott's values and his understanding of Scripture, that helping him to understand climate change in a way that uses the values that he and I probably share, more conservative pro-life values, will help him understand climate change is a real and very big threat to Florida." Similarly, Pope Francis today came out and said, "Creation is not a property which we can rule over at will, or even less, it is the property of only a few. Creation is a gift. It's a wonderful gift that God has given us so that we care for it and that we use it for the benefit of all, especially with always with great respect and gratitude." The Pope talking about climate change. Isn't it time? I mean, Florida is going to get whacked worse than any other state. In fact, already is. There are businesses in Florida that are already starting to,
Name 'em.
be underwater.
Well, this whole creation
one of the networks
care
did a whole
idea
special on it just
is
last
trying
week.
to make man seem like God. We cannot influence the climate the way that the environmental movement thinks that we can. And to try to use
Really? Where'd you learn
God
that?
Last 15 years, climate's been steady.
The climate has not been steady
The
for the last
climate has been
15
steady.
Every
The last-
year has
the
been warmer than the year before. that.
Satellite temperatures have shown. The same satellite data that is used by the climate scientists.
First of all, what you're doing is you're going back to the last El Nino. So you had one incredible spike year, and you're saying
what
that
is El
one
Nino?
El
What is
Nino.
And we have one incredible
haven't
spike
had an
here,
El
and they go
Nino
running around
since
saying,
then.
"Oh, it's the end of the world."
This year there'll be, but the trend line has been steadily up. I mean, that's a
we've had-
lie. That's just a plain old
We've had
flat
12
lie. It's a
we've had-
distortion.
And the
I can't
United
believe that you're
States
saying
has
that,
been good.
David.
No, the United States has been.
This is like Holocaust denial.
Taken
People's
down
lives
our
are at
emissions
stake.
by 12.5% over the last, I think it was between 2005 and 2013. We took down our emissions by 12.5%. We are the country that everyone should be looking to. The Pope should be looking at us and saying, do what the United States does. And we've done that without cap and trade because the Obama administration never pushed it.
No, we've done
We're
that
doing
because
it
the
without
cost of gasoline
Kyoto
has gone from
because
the price of oil has gone
the Clinton
from $30
administration
a
never
barrel to
pushed
$100
Kyoto.
a
They
barrel.
turned it into a political issue, just like the Obama administration made cap and trade a political issue, like they're making the Keystone Pipeline a political issue. We are doing a good job at being stewards of the earth in the United States.
So
let's look
if
at
98
should the Pope go
doctors
to-
told you that you had pancreatic cancer and should have it operated on, and two doctors said, yeah, you might have pancreatic cancer, but just drink a lot of apple juice and you'll be fine.
So you're going
Who
to
would you
have
pay
the
attention
98%
to?
of climate scientists or whatever saying that there's global warming. That's people saying there's temperature changes.
No, that's people saying
who
that
believe
humans
and
caused it.
don't
It's a
be-
100%
but that's the
consensus
thing.
that there's
Humans
temperature-
can cause a
there's
little bit
global
of it.
warming.
They're not causing all of it. And that data, that 98% includes the people who are skeptical of it, as well as the people who are believers in it.
No.
Yes, it is.
It's 98% of
It's
all
not 98%.
all
The
published
debate
climate
is
science.
far, far from over.
There is no debate on this. It's like there's no
Oh,
debate
so
on the
that's it.
Holocaust.
So we aren't allowed to have an opinion. We aren't allowed to. We've had the debate settled for us.
Pretending that there's a debate is like pretending that that there's no gravity or that the Earth is at the center of the universe. I mean, it's
okay,
like
so-
really.
The new statistic I heard today, the new scare statistic, was that 2013 was as hot as it was. It hasn't been as hot a year as 1880. Why was 1880 as hot as 2013?
Probably another El Nino year.
Oh, were they all? I think they were all driving SUVs back then, just with Wilder Banyan. But remember, for people who remember the Laura Ingalls Wilder books, 1880 was also the year that we had the terrible blizzard that she wrote the book about.
Right, it was probably an El Nino year. If we have an El Nino this year will be the next year that sets
2013 was the
records.
hottest year on record
You keep
since we've been
talking
keeping
about El Niños,
records.
but we've had 15 La Niñas in the last 15 years.
That's my point. La Nina's cooled down.
But it's weather. It's weather.
No, that's actually El Ninos and La Ninas are atmosphere.
El Nino has been around since the Earth.
Sure.
And look,
And they're getting more severe.
Look, and science has proven that.
And they're getting more severe.
See, Tom, the thing is, progressives need something to tell us, oh, well, we don't have communism anymore, so we have to do something to tell us that man is screwing up the planet. I can go
You
out
really
there.
believe
The
this?
same weather
Yeah,
patterns
yeah,
in
we-
1880
You guys both
and in
actually believe this?
2013.
I believe that this whole climate change is a bunch of crap.
I don't
A
believe
bunch
that
of
we
crap.
are gods that can
Man-made
change
climate
the
change
planet.
is crap.
Really?
That's the thing.
Really?
Do you think that the Earth is at the center of the solar system?
No.
No, I think that the solar.
How do you know that it's not?
How do I know that it's because it revolves around the sun?
How do you know?
At 93,
How do you know?
we've seen it.
How do you know?
We've seen it.
You mean from something scientific?
Oh, you mean a satellite? Or let's
You mean
say-
the scientists
Because
told
we
you?
don't believe that man
No, actually.
So when the scientists-
No, hold on,
mankind-
A
So when the
priest
scientists tell you
a
that the
priest
Earth is not
actually
the
told
center.
us that the sun is the center of the universe. You know,
He was a scientist priest.
but he was a priest. He was a priest
He
first,
was a-
scientist second. You say scientist first, priest second.
Okay, well, this is a priest who is the Reverend Mitch Hescock, back to my original
He's an
question.
activist.
He's-
Anybody
he's
can go
a-
to www.
He's a
Preachers Are
minister,
Us.
evangelical environmental area. He's a minister, and he's saying to
And
Christians,
what is his background in what is his background in environmental issues?
As a Christian,
What is his background in environmental issues?
It's just they're trying to take the whole religious argument, just throw that in to try and get their policy. They don't want. I mean,
you don't think
it's-
Genesis says, you know, to care for the world?
We are caring for the world. Back in the 1970s, we had a big change of heart. The
The
American
Democratic Party had a big change of heart. Nixon vetoed the EPA Act.
But the thing is,
It was overridden by Democrats.
it's not a political thing. It was that the American people decided they wanted to
And what
try
have
and make
Democrats
the
created
environment
beforehand?
cleaner. We've done things like recycling. Businesses have worked to make things better.
Over
We've
the,
got a
over the
catalytic
screaming objections of
converter.
Republicans in every single case.
We're not talking about
Republicans
partisan
fought
stuff.
catalytic converters.
I don't care what Republicans do. I don't care what Democrats
Conservatives
do. But
fought
the thing
catalytic converters.
is we have a situation where it's a lot better than it was in the 1970s.
Because
and
of progressive
it's certainly
activity.
a lot
But Tom-
better since George W. Bush assumed the presidency.
But
And
Tom,
it's
I have one
other
question.
countries should be looking to us. The global warming rules that we are looking at here, the restrictions we have here, are nothing like what they don't have in India, what they don't have in China, what they don't have in Russia.
Okay. Yeah, although China has announced that they're going to start
Tom,
a
shouldn't the-
carbon
They're going
tax
to,
next
but
year.
they
shouldn't that
aren't
pro-
doing
David
it now.
Almasi and Kevin Martin. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.